You must work the weekend. I was an IT contractor for a company doing a large new project. There were about 30 people writing code. We were allowed as much overtime as we were willing to work and I could use the money. I was working 12 hours, 5 days a week. On the weekends, I would go racing, usually out of state. It was common on Thursday to get called into a meeting saying we needed to work 8 hours Saturday, 4 on Sunday. Most people would have 52 hours in total. I would do it if available, putting me at 72 or 76 since 4 hours is stupid. Other times, I would point out I would already be at 60 and had plans. I was given an exception the first couple times. Then I was told I was not being a team player. So I clarify, if I work 12 hours between 5 p.m. Friday and 9 a.m. Monday, is that good? Yes. Well, okay then. I left the office at 9 p.m. on Friday. 4 of the 12 down. The race trailer was already loaded up and ready to go. I headed out in the morning for a 4-hour drive. After the race I headed back. Since I was driving near the office and the parking lot was empty, I pulled in trailer and all around 3 a.m. I figured just badging in wasn't enough to demonstrate compliance. I sent an email out to the group with every task I completed. I completed everything I had been assigned. There was a whiteboard with unassigned tasks. I sent an email that I was pulling a task. Then another when completed. I had my full hours in at 11 a.m. I was being a smart ass. However, I didn't really expect the manager to get as annoyed about it as he did. A bit later, my contract was cut by that manager for my abrasive personality. The fallout seems to have been against me, but not in the end. My contract was cut. I was told on a Thursday morning and given the next 3 full weeks' notice. By Thursday afternoon, I had a job interview scheduled for Monday. By Monday afternoon, I had a couple more scheduled. I started a new position with no gap. That is pretty much the malicious compliance. Below is the fallout from the retaliation. The manager blamed the abrasive personality comment on the business. They are the people asking for and defining the project. I only worked with one. During my notice, I was working with her. I said something about someone else having to do the next phase. She says, yeah, that sucks. After giving cat butt face, I tell her that I was told the business wanted me gone. Since she was the only business I dealt with. Wavy hand motion. She just got a pissed look and stormed off. Her anger went up the org tree and back down my branch. Manager was told, I want op on this project. Deal with it. I had multiple people, HR, managers, peers, etc., ask me if I wanted to stay. They would have to make the S hit the fan to do so. They didn't want to do that if I was leaving anyway. I said I already had accepted an offer. I just wished he had to be the one to ask me to stay. He was made to ask me if I could extend the notice period to provide training sessions on my techniques. Me. So you want my productivity? Just not me? Quote. Well, yeah. No. I am already scheduled to start a new position. During my notice, 12 people found new positions and gave their notice. The attitude was that if the company was willing to cut me, they could cut anyone at any time. They would rather leave on their terms. That was not a problem for coders at that particular point in time. I was still working 60 hours a week during my notice period. On my last day, when leaving, the only person still there was that manager's boss. When I said bye, he said he had meant to talk to me before I left. I sat down and talked. I said, you must be wondering why I would be working late on my last day. I wanted the section of software I was on to be working before I left so no one could blame me for it not getting done. I said I was the only one left in the last few months who was working on it. All tests had passed that day. Another section with similar work has 6 people working on it and is not done. He began to question the manager's decision-making. He thanked me and said he may reach out in the future. A couple months later, someone reached out to me to see if I would come back. The manager's contract was cut, as were the other 3 people from his contract house. An employee who was buddies with the manager was moved off the project. Apparently, since the manager was also a contractor, he could not technically cut my contract. It was done by this employee. I didn't go back, as my new, abrasive personality manager and I got along great. Fun fact: it's illegal in many states for businesses to dictate hours and workloads for contract employees beyond what they originally contracted for. Often this is used for the distinguishing line between an independent contractor and an employee. Likely, that company was using contractors to skirt tax liabilities, and in some states they get real mad about that. I also had one high-level manager who seemed to think he wanted to mentor me to be the next manager, without asking me if I was even interested first. When he called me into his office and stated I was expected to be working on my weekends to further my career, I told him in no uncertain terms what I thought of that and his desire to make me a manager. I walked out and left 3 months later to a different department. 4 other guys left at the same time after hearing what happened. They want to be able to tell you when to work, and they don't want you to be logical back to them. This is the way I want it done now because you are my hired slave. Every time you wonder if it's your employer or you, repeat to yourself, slaves don't get breaks and they don't get paid. I'm selling by you my time and effort, not my body or my life. Sounds like you could have grounds to sue the bad manager for wrongful termination. Welp, that just goes to show how you can burn down the loyalty and moral of a whole group by horsing your high producers. Thread drift: I need to know about the racing. Probably the employee was loyal to the idiot manager who had you fired. Most people have no idea that a talented, experienced coder can produce software at a rate many times what other coders produce. When I used to work as an employee for other companies, I realized quickly that I could take on a project and finish it in a week, when a team had been trying to do it for a month. It's why I eventually went independent. I can easily charge by the project and make a lot more money.
TLDR.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.